Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, so I want you to picture a scene. You're in a shop, maybe buying a shirt, a book, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You walk up to the counter, you hand over your item, the person behind the register scans it, you tap your card, and you leave.
It's probably the most mundane interaction in the world. We
Yeah.
do it constantly without even thinking.
Right. And because it's so routine, there's this a massive misconception about what is actually happening on the other side of that counter. We see retail work as purely transactional.
Just, scanning barcodes, folding sweaters, pointing vaguely toward the fitting rooms.
Exactly. There's this stigma that it's unskilled labor.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
It's often seen as a stepping stone or something you do because you haven't found a real career yet.
Yeah.
The assumption is that the value is all in the product, and the person standing there is just a mechanism.
But today we are going to completely flip that narrative on its head. We have a source that honestly kind of blew my mind a little bit. It exposes just how much invisible labor is happening. We're working with the transcript from the Voice to Voice podcast, and it's an interview with a woman named Anna.
And Anna is a fantastic case study for this. She's been a shop assistant for about 5 years in this cozy city center store. And what she describes isn't just selling stuff. It's a masterclass in psychology, emotional intelligence.
And crisis management. So that's our mission today. We want to decode the social mechanics of the sales floor. We're going to look at the skills, the coping mechanisms, everything that turns a simple purchase into a genuine human moment.
I agree. Because after you hear this, you really start to see that so-called soft skills are actually some of the hardest skills to master.
Okay, so let's start with Anna's background because this just sets the stage perfectly. She didn't just fall into this, she has a university degree.
That stood out to me immediately.
She graduated, looked at the typical career path, and made a very deliberate, hard left turn.
Yeah, the societal script is get a degree, get office job, sit at a desk.
Mm-hmm.
But Anna explicitly says she wanted to avoid a computer job.
Her quote is, "I wouldn't sit at a computer all day." She wanted the chaos of the real world.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, we usually associate knowledge work with being tethered to a screen.
Mm-hmm.
But for her to look at that and say, no, I want the energy of face-to-face interaction, that's almost a countercultural move.
It really is. She's choosing analog over digital. And her core motivation is so simple. I've always liked talking to people.
Which is easy to just dismiss as, oh, she's chatty.
Right. But there is a massive difference between chatting with your friends and talking to people in retail.
Huge difference. Talking to friends is leisure. Talking to the general public for 8 hours a day with all their moods and demands, that's an endurance sport.
It really is. You're constantly on. There's no hiding behind an email or turning off your camera. You are just there.
Physically present and available.
Speaking of which, let's look at her routine. The interview walks us through her day. It starts early, before the doors even open. She's checking stock, of course, but she puts a lot of focus on arranging products nicely.
And this is the first layer of the skill set. She says she does it so customers can easily find things. We call this visual merchandising, but if you really break it down, she's basically a user experience designer for the physical world.
That's a great comparison. The UX designer of the shop floor.
Precisely. Think about a confusing website. You get frustrated and you leave. Anna's doing the same thing with physical space. She's curating the environment to reduce that, cognitive load for the customer. It's nonverbal communication before she even says a word.
So the stage is set, the doors open, now the real work starts. She lists 2 main skills that are essential, and it's not what you might think.
No, it's not aggressive persuasion or being good with numbers. The 2 pillars she identifies are listening and patience.
Again, sounds so simple, like something you tell a 5-year-old. But she frames listening as this active, almost detective-like activity.
That's the key. It's not passive hearing, it's active listening, it's decoding. She says customers have very specific requests, but often people are just terrible at articulating what they actually want.
Right, they come in with a vague idea, or they use the wrong words, or they just describe a feeling.
Exactly. So she has to bridge that gap between what the customer says and what the customer needs. She has to read the subtext.
Which leads us perfectly to the cat gift story. This was my favorite part of the interview because it's such a perfect example of this decoding process.
It's a perfect case study.
So a customer walks in, needs a gift, no idea what to buy. The only guidance he gives Anna is a theme. He says, I want everything related to cats. This is the entire brief.
Now, a low engagement employee just points to a section or types cat into the computer. It's transactional.
But Anna takes this abstract concept, cats, and turns it into a creative project. She goes on this little scavenger hunt around the store.
She's pulling items from completely different departments. A mug from here, a notebook from there, a small toy from somewhere else.
Think about the mental inventory she has to do that. She knows every item, where it is, and can link them all under this new theme of cats. That's pure creativity.
And she builds a custom bundle. She didn't just sell him products. She curated a cat gift set that just didn't exist 5 minutes earlier.
The outcome is amazing. She says the customer left happy, but then she adds, I was smiling all day too. That's the creative payoff.
That's the dopamine hit of solving a puzzle. She went from being a vending machine to a personal shopper. She added value that wasn't on the price tag.
It really highlights that problem-solving aspect. But, we have to be realistic. It's not always fun scavenger hunts for cat mugs.
No, the emotional labor aspect is huge. This is where that unskilled label really just falls apart.
She talks about the little joys, like the regular customer who came back just to thank her. He said, Anna, thank you. You helped me choose a gift for my mom. She loved it.
That feedback loop is so rare in a lot of jobs. You send an email into the void and maybe get a thanks 2 weeks later. But here, the validation is visceral. She saw the impact she had on another human being. That's powerful.
But then there are the bad days, the difficult customers, the people who are just having a terrible week.
And this is where we get into that high-level emotional regulation.
Yeah.
How do you handle someone who is just projecting all their anger onto you?
Anna's philosophy is almost stoic. She says the main thing is to stay calm. And then she gives her golden rule. It's not personal.
It's not personal. It sounds so simple, almost a cliche, but just try practicing that in the moment. When someone's raising their voice at you, your whole body wants to fight back.
Right. Your ego screams, defend yourself, I don't set the prices.
Exactly. But Anna engages in what sociologists call deep acting. She overrides her own ego. She separates herself from her role. She realizes the customer isn't mad at Anna, they're mad at the situation.
And her goal isn't to win the argument, it's to find a solution so they leave happy. That takes a massive amount of maturity.
It's emotional labor in its purest form. She is managing her own emotions while simultaneously managing the emotions of the person in front of her. It's a skill that's completely invisible, but it holds the whole business together.
And she doesn't do it alone. The interview talks about her team, especially during the chaos of holidays or sales, where she says, you can't keep up with anything.
The foxhole mentality.
Exactly. She describes her colleagues not as just coworkers, but as an emotional buffer. She says they joke around to make the day more fun.
Humor is such a critical coping mechanism there. It's a pressure valve. When you're just getting slammed, sharing a quick look or a joke with a colleague reframes everything. It goes from we are drowning to This is ridiculous, but we're in it together.
It builds resilience. And she lists these small self-care tactics, music, her colleagues' smiles, and I love this one, short coffee breaks.
The micro break, it's so important. She steps off the stage because the sales floor is a stage. She resets her emotional baseline, and then she goes back out to perform.
Speaking of performance, there was another story she told that was just hilarious, but also very telling, the mix-up.
Ah, the gummy candy incident.
Yes. So a customer was looking for chocolate. He's wandering the shelves, a bit lost. He grabs a jar, brings it to the checkout, and Anna has to gently point out, "Sir, those are gummy candies, not chocolate."
Now, that's a moment that could be really embarrassing for the customer. He's made a silly mistake in public.
But Anna says, "We laughed together." And he bought the gummies anyway and left happy.
That phrase, laugh together, is the key. She didn't correct him sternly. She didn't make him feel stupid. She used humor as a bridge. She signaled, hey, it's okay. It happens. You're safe here.
It all comes back to that psychological safety, and this connects directly to her career goals.
Yeah.
I think most people would assume someone with a degree like Anna must be plotting her escape from retail.
All right, trying to move up into a corporate job.
But her 5-year plan is to stay in the industry. She wants to move into management or training new employees.
Which just aligns perfectly with your values. She doesn't just want to sell. She wants to teach others how to sell.
And look at what she wants to teach. Not how to maximize profit or organize the stockroom.
No. She says she wants to teach them to keep talking to people and making them happy.
That's her entire mission statement. And her advice for anyone entering sales sums it all up. 2 things. First, you must like people. Okay, we get that. But the second one surprised me a little. She said you must be honest.
That is a profound insight. I mean, we have this stereotype of the salesperson as the smooth talker, the sleazy car salesman who will say anything to close the deal.
Right. Oh, yeah, that looks great on you, even if it doesn't.
But Anna rejects that. By linking honesty with liking people, she's saying that trust is the real currency. If a customer tries on a shirt and it looks awful, she'll say, honestly, let's try this one instead.
It's risky. You might lose that one sale.
You might, but you gain their trust. You prove you're an advisor, not just a vendor. And that trust is what brings them back. She's playing the long game, the relationship over the transaction.
It's consultative selling. It's treating the customer like a human being, not a wallet.
And that's the big picture. When you zoom out, you see a job that requires the logic of a designer, the listening of a detective, the emotional regulation of a diplomat.
And the creative problem solving of an artist, all while standing on your feet for 8 hours for wages that probably don't reflect that skill stack.
It just completely shatters the definition of unskilled. If you dropped a high-performing software engineer with none of those social skills into her store on a busy Saturday,
Oh, they'd crumble.
total meltdown. The transactions might happen mechanically, but the experience would collapse.
Which brings us to the elephant in the room, automation. Help checkout kiosks, AI recommendations online.
It's the inevitable question. Is Anna's job obsolete? Is she just a placeholder until the robots get good enough?
Based on her experience, what do you think? Can a machine replace Anna?
Well, a machine can definitely replace the transaction. It can scan a barcode and take your money. It can even sort of do the cat gift thing by querying a database. But can a machine feel that little joy? Can it detect the subtle shift in a customer's tone and diffuse a situation with empathy? Can it laugh with the customer so they don't feel embarrassed?
That's the gap, isn't it? The empathy.
Exactly. Automation offers efficiency. It's fast, accurate, and cold. Anna offers connection. And here's the thought I want to leave you with. In a world that is becoming overwhelmingly automated, the value of that human empathy is going to skyrocket.
That's a really powerful thought, that the inefficiency of a human chat actually becomes the luxury product.
I think so. The human interaction becomes the premium service.
Mm.
We're going to crave that validation, that moment of being seen and understood that only another person can give.
We aren't just buying things, we're buying a connection.
And that is something no algorithm has mastered yet.
So what does this mean for you, the listener? Well, the next time you walk into a shop, maybe don't just see the uniform.
Recognize that there's a huge amount of invisible labor happening right there in front of you.
And maybe, if you're stuck looking for that perfect gift, don't just stare at your phone. Ask for help.
You might just get the perfect cat mug.
And you might just make someone's day in the process. That's all for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.